Hello, welcome to this tropical update. So let's see what's happening in the Atlantic for Invest 97L. So it's now called an Invest, so we'll have more information on it. And so let's see. They put here 70% chance array, so it's now red there. Let's see. A well-defined tropical wave produced a large area of disorganized showers and thunderstorms over Hispaniola, Puerto Rico, the southeastern Bahamas, and the adjacent waters of the southwestern Atlantic and Caribbean Sea. Development of the system should be slow to occur during the next day or so while it moves west-northwest over portions of the Greater Antilles. However, environmental conditions are forecast to become more conducive for development after the wave passes the Greater Antilles and a tropical depression is likely to form by this weekend or early next week over the eastern Gulf of Mexico near the Florida Peninsula. Interest in the Greater Antilles, in the Bahamas, and Florida should monitor the progress of this system. So 30% in the next 2 days and 70% in the next 7 days. So it's now growing. So let's see some information. So it's now an invest 97L. So you can see all the thunderstorms and convection associated. So let's see. We have the low pressure center right over Hispaniola there, and most models are taking this into the Gulf. Only like one or two members take this through the southeast, but most are taking it into the Gulf, and the other ones here, let's see, are taking it kind of into the Gulf too, and some in Florida there. And now we have the intensity guidance. So let's see. These are from mainly the hurricane models and some global models. So all the models are showing this getting to tropical storm strength by like 48 hours, and then he keeps going. Many models are showing it getting to like category 1 strength by 72 and 84 hours, and then if you can believe it, all these models take this to category 2 strength as it passes like 108 hours. So I don't know if this might happen because the operational models and the environment that we have is only like supporting a tropical storm in those regions, but these models here are all showing a category 2 hurricane, so coming from this invest. So we gotta monitor this very closely. So let's see uh, what the latest models think. So this is the GFS, the 12C. It passing there over the Dominican Republic, and then over Cuba, the Cayman Islands, and then it exits into the Gulf and rapidly forms into a tropical storm there, and goes into Florida as a tropical storm, passes through southern Georgia, South Carolina, and then continues through the east coast, very close to North Carolina and South Carolina. Then the GFS has this as a hurricane passing right through the Outer Banks by August 10th, and then heading out. So I don't think this will happen yet, but you never know. It's a possibility. So let's see the European. So this is the 6C, but let's see here. It has the disturbance there, and then he kind of goes into the Gulf, but the European still very weak on this. Let's see the 0Z. So it has the disturbance there. It goes into the Gulf, but the European section not forming anything. It kind of lingers there. It only tries to form a depression, like by August 11th there, but the European is not forming in anything big there. It kind of lingers there, tries to form, but not really makes it. So weird. Let's see the 18Z from yesterday. It had the disturbance there, and then it went into the Gulf, and try to form something. But the 12Z from yesterday had it there, and then it eventually forming there, like a weak depression or something, and then XZ in Florida and forming bear in the Atlantic there. So that's the 12Z from yesterday. But the run for today is not really showing much, like something very weak. So the Europeans not very happy about this. It's showing something very weak. So this is the Canadian. It has it there, potentially getting to the north of Cuba and forming there, and then kind of passes through the west coast of Florida as a tropical depression or storm. The shape looks like a storm, but 1006 millibars is still very weak. But then it strengthens a little bit as it passes over Florida, Georgia, and then South Carolina, North Carolina, and then leaves into the Atlantic again. So this is forecast like by July, no, by August 4th there. But let's see the Navgen, it has the disturbance there, and then it goes like into right into Florida. That doesn't go into the Gulf. It goes into Florida and forms in the Atlantic there, near the southeast, into a tropical storm. So the Navgen is a little bit different. Let's see the icon. It has the disturbance there. It keeps going, tries to form near Cuba, eventually forms in the Gulf of Mexico as a weak tropical storm or tropical depression there in the Gulf. So by August 5th. So it goes into Florida by August 4th and August 5th there. So this is the icon. The Korean model is kind of showing a tropical storm there too, or like a tropical depression in the Gulf. But by August 4th there, it's more the center is more further away from Florida, but eventually it might curve. So this is the Korean model, and there's the UK model. The UK model has it closer to Louisiana and Mississippi, a little farther away from Florida, but eventually it might curve too. So this is the UK model, and I think it develops it too. So let's see what else. So the ensemble members from the Canadian model have this most passing south of Cuba there and some north of Cuba, and then forming in the Gulf of Mexico. But many ensembles from the Canadian are showing this going into Louisiana. Most are going to Florida, but some ensembles are going into Louisiana there. So we gotta monitor this. But I don't think it will go there. You most likely go into Florida, but the European has like it has it there a lot weaker, but it most go into Florida there. They have some stronger ensembles too by August 6, but most go into Florida. And the GFS has, let's see, it has the system there. Most go into the Florida Panhandle there. So and even some pop-ups later there. So let's see what probabilities the European has. So it has most tropical storm probabilities on the east coast still. So it has few stuff for the Gulf of Mexico. Maybe because this is between August 5th and August 12th. So by August 5th, it would have already made landfall there. So yeah, let's see the following week, August 12th to August 19th, just some little remnants there. And then later, still some remnants there. Yeah, and tropical cyclone probability, so like just tropical depression. Let's see, it has some moderate probabilities in the Gulf, like 20 to 30%, and 30 to 40% there, but mostly near in the Atlantic there, Yes, it has 60 to 70% chance in the Atlantic there. So and then later, it keeps going north and nothing big. But yeah, it has some probabilities in the Gulf, but most there in the Atlantic. So we'll keep watching this. And that was tropical cyclone strike probabilities. So this like tropical cyclone activity probabilities, like cyclone genesis. So this tropical storm strength. So let's see, still nothing by August 5th, still nothing by August 6th, August 7th, and then only by August 8th the European start getting some minor tropical storm probabilities there in the Gulf. By August 9th still, by August 10th still some probabilities there, and then by August 11th still some probabilities there, by August 12th, and yeah, so those are the tropical storm probabilities. The European showing this a little bit later, like taking longer to develop. But just the tropical cyclone probabilities, like tropical depression probabilities, it already shows a lot there. Those light blues are like 60 to 70% in Cuba and Hispaniola, and it has even more there. So this by August 4th, it has some 70 to 80% chance of a tropical depression there near Cuba. It's like cyclone genesis, not necessarily a depression, like cyclone genesis. So, and then later by August 5th, still some 70 to 80% probabilities in Cuba going to the Gulf. And let's see, shows some 60 to 70% in the Gulf already. By August 6th, it still has some probabilities in the Gulf, like 50 to 70% chance in the green and the blue. But by August 7th, a little bit less, but still some probabilities. By August 8th, a little bit less. This might be formed already. By August 9th, still some probabilities, 10th, 11th, 12th. So it shows it lingering there more. It isn't showing much going north, but eventually this might curve north near the east coast there. But let's see what else here. So the ensemble from the European, let's see, wait. So by August 6th, it has already some tropical depression probabilities there in the Gulf and over Florida, but not much support there. It has some minor probabilities in Cuba, but mainly in the Gulf there. And then later, by August, let's see, it's it's a little bit slow. Okay, so by August 7th, it still has some probabilities in the Gulf, but it's already leaving Florida. There's some stronger probabilities on the east coast, like some tropical storm probabilities there. Let's see later. Wait, here. So by August 9th, it shows more greens there in the Gulf. More members are showing like greens tropical storm already, showing more greens there and more greens on the east coast. Like after this leaves Florida, showing more members just showing tropical storm on the east coast there. So let's see until the end of this run. So to 240 hours. Let's see. It has already some members even showing like hurricane strength out in the Atlantic there. So and the European still has some members there in the Gulf showing like tropical storm strength, some tropical depression, tropical storm strength mainly to Florida and some near Alabama and Mississippi. But then they curve through the southeast and go out into the Atlantic again. And like 2 or 3 members are showing tropical storm and even hurricane strength there in the Atlantic. So this is the European. There's not as much support, there's a lot of members showing development, so it's possible. Let's see. But the GFS now is showing. Let's see. Sorry, this is taking so long. So let's see. Oh, here, wait, it's almost, so here, sorry, so the GFS by 240 hours, it's showing more there on the east coast, but only after it leaves Florida. Some get into tropical storm strength there near the east coast, and some are even showing like hurricane strength in the Gulf. Those ensembles are kind of crazy, but they are showing like very messy. Some go over Florida, some go to Louisiana, Mississippi, and even one goes into Texas. So this is really messy there, but most models are taking it into the Gulf and then into Florida there. So let's see here something else. So that's taking too long. So let's see some hurricane models, because now with the invest we have hurricane models. So this is the HWRF. It has it there like near Cuba in Hispaniola. It keeps going like 1007 millibars, 1008, and then it goes into the Gulf and strengthens into a tropical storm in the Gulf, and then it goes like as a hurricane into the Florida Panhandle. So this is the HWRF hurricane model. It did pretty good last time with Barrel, but I don't know about this. Some models have it stronger, some weaker, but this model has it forming rapidly into a tropical storm and potentially a hurricane there. So that's one. And there's the, let's see, there's the HMON, another hurricane model. It has there the invest. It has it passing south, like between Cuba and Jamaica, and then it goes there, goes into the Gulf, and tries to form a tropical storm there, but very weak, like on like 1005, 1003 millibars. So very weak storm, but eventually, as it gets closer to land, it turns into a 995 storm there, as it goes into Alabama. So this as a weak tropical storm going to Alabama there, this hurricane model. So let's see. There's the HEFS A hurricane model. It has the invest there, passing just south of Cuba there, and then let's see. Wait. So wait. This is kind of weird. Let's see. It passes south of Cuba and Jamaica, but it keeps like lingering there. It isn't showing much, and then it eventually has this like Central America and approaching like Central America. So never mind this. This model has gone crazy, but let's see the another model here. The half speed has it passing just north of Jamaica there, near Cuba, and then it, let's see, it goes into the Gulf there, and then forms like a tropical storm there in the Gulf and goes into the Florida Panhandle. So this model also has a tropical storm going into the Florida Panhandle there. So yeah, let's see here what else. And there's, let's see, and there's the GFS. Wait, let's see. Wait, this is, so never mind. Let's see some other things. So I think this has a good chance to develop there, but it's not. But there's still a lot of uncertainty there. So we don't know yet. But most models are showing it that developing, but now the euro is showing it like very weak. So it gives some more uncertainty. But let's see something else. Wait, this isn't working here. So let's see. Wait, here. So let's see some other stuff. So first, wait here. So where this wave is at there, it's very moist. There's dry air in the Atlantic there into the west, but it's very moist. And then maybe some dry air in the Gulf there, but it doesn't really affect the system. It goes into Florida there, and maybe yeah, it doesn't really affect. So this is the GFS. The European has the wave there now, and lots of dry air in the Atlantic, in some in the Caribbean, but it kind of protects itself, but still some dry air around. But the Europeans like very weak, so I don't know why it weakened a lot, but let's see. The zero Z has it kind of lingering there and trying to form something like later. So this is by August 11th. It's still trying to form something there, and lots of dry air to the left of it. So we don't know yet, but all the models like the Canadian, the GFS, the UK are all showing some good development. The Europeans still very weak, but it might show up something eventually. So let's see some here. So now it's like we have it there. So there's some wind shear in the Atlantic there, but not much. And then it goes there into the Gulf. Still some wind shear near it, but not where it will be at. And then maybe some outflow, and then it shows it forming there like by August 10th, a low pressure forming there. So the European has it taking a lot of time to develop. The GFS has the, let's see, the system there, sowing shear in the Atlantic, but it eventually it protects itself and goes into the Gulf, and that shear is mainly outflow there. It's showing, and then it keeps going there, and survives. So there might be a little bit of shear, but not a lot, and at this point. So let's see. So we'll keep monitoring this and making updates. So we will make another update tomorrow to show you the models and everything. But now let's focus on the rainfall. So because it has been bringing a lot of dangerous rainfall into Haiti, the Dominican Republic, and eventually Cuba there. So let's see. So there's now a lot of storms in the Dominican Republic, in Haiti there, and this is the meteorological service of the Dominican Republic, and they have some weather alerts there for the area. So just in case you don't understand English, you can read here in Spanish if you want what they have for the Dominican Republic. So let's see. So yeah, be careful there. And for tomorrow, there stays still some instability left tomorrow, Friday, but the worst of the tropical wave is today. So let's see. And they say the, the tropical wave leaves their area completely by Saturday. So be careful today there with those moderate to heavy rain showers and the thunderstorms there. Be careful with the rivers and streams. There might be some flooding in areas of Haiti, the Dominican Republic, and even Puerto Rico. Lots of storms still affecting the Virgin Islands and Puerto Rico there. So be careful in those areas. And let's see. This will eventually affect Cuba between Friday and Sunday, and then you can see here by Friday lots of showers and storms already affecting Cuba there. Saturday, still a lot of heavy showers and storms there. So wait here. Saturday, so let's see. So let's put, so this is the GFS. It has lots of showers and storms there. So please be careful there. After this leaves Hispaniola, be careful in Cuba there. So by Friday tomorrow, lots of storms will already start affecting like eastern Cuba there, Santiago and some other areas. Some might be heavy and some thunderstorms with strong winds, lightning and everything. So protect yourself from the thunderstorms, and be aware if they are heavier storms, there might be flooding in a spot or two, some flash flooding, and please be careful there. So Saturday, still a lot of rain in Cuba and some heavy rain by Saturday. And then Sunday, this mainly leaves, but still some storms in western Cuba by Sunday. So this will only stop affecting Cuba really by Monday. So please be careful there between Friday and Sunday. So let's see here. This the European now, it has it there. Lots of waves of showers and storms affecting Cuba until Sunday there, and especially Friday and Saturday will be the worst days there. So let's see here. Wait. Let's put Cuba here. So let's see if they have any information on this system. So here, let's see. They still don't have any alerts for this there, but I'm sure they will later. So I'll just say this in Spanish for them too, so they can be safe. Entonces, entre el viernes y el domingo va a haber muchas lluvias fuertes en Cuba y muchas tormentas eléctricas, principalmente el viernes en el oeste de Cuba, el sábado más en el centro de Cuba, sí, y el domingo más en el oeste de Cuba. Entonces, muchas precauciones. Algunas de estas lluvias y tormentas pueden ser fuertes así y haber rayos y vientos fuertes. Entonces, precauciones con este sistema, y ya se va el domingo y lunes ya está todo bien. Precauciones in Cuba. Good. So let's see now some rain accumulation in the Caribbean. So in the next 24 hours, so today is Thursday, so this until Friday tomorrow, it has more accumulation than Dominican Republic, 13 millimeters, 15 millimeters. It might be locally more from those storms. So more rain in Puerto Rico too, in Cuba there already, but in the next 3 days, as this moves over Cuba there, they have more rain and storms there. Some like 25 millimeters in Cuba, 31 millimeters, 22, 15 millimeters. So more storms in Cuba, and then this will also affect the Cayman Islands with some showers and storms, mainly between Friday and Sunday, especially Saturday. So be aware, the next 3 days, some 20 millimeters the Cayman Islands, but there might be some showers and storms. Jamaica too, this will throw some showers in Jamaica, about 16 millimeters the next 5 days, and there might be more depending on what happens. So be aware, some showers and storms there too, and the Turks and Caicos. So this is currently affecting Hispaniola, the southeastern Bahamas, and the Turks and Caicos. So it shows more than 30 millimeters the next 3 days in the Turks and Caicos. So be careful with those storms there too. And then it shows more in the Bahamas, uh, 18 millimeters, 22 millimeters. Might be some more showers and daytime thunderstorms. Then in the next 5 days, it has more for western Cuba there, about 40 millimeters. And as this goes towards Florida there, it already has, by the end of the 5 day period, more than 90 millimeters in parts of Florida, some areas in the ocean 120 millimeters. So yeah, let's see some more in some areas there. And then next 10 days, as this leaves, take a look at this. This is the European. It has in parts of Florida more than 250 millimeters in the next 10 days. So 252 millimeters the next 10 days. So because the Europeans taking this very long to develop, so like the moisture might stall in some of those areas there. But the GFS is a very different scenario. So in the next 24 hours, it has more for Haiti in the Dominican Republic, more than 39 millimeters there. So be aware in Haiti as well, some stronger storms, some heavy rain, and maybe some flash flooding. Then the storm starts occurring in Cuba by Friday tomorrow, so some 33 millimeters there. And then by the next 3 days, the GFS has some 60 millimeters, 50 millimeters in Cuba, from all those showers and storms. So be careful in Cuba, some 30 millimeters. Western Cuba like 50 millimeters in some areas, for 42 millimeters, but it has more in central Cuba there, so be aware. And already has some for Florida, the Florida Keys, the next 3 days already at 36 millimeters. And then in the next 5 days, the GFS has this moving over Florida. It has more than 130 millimeters, 120 millimeters in parts of central Florida. Has more 117 millimeters, but where this makes landfall, more than 127 millimeters, 170, 180 millimeters through northern Florida, southern Georgia there, 170 millimeters, and then it passes very near South Carolina, more than 100 millimeters, and then it goes out there. So let's see here. So in the next 10 days, even more, as this goes away there. So let's see the the icon. So just in the next 3 days, so it has in the Dominican Republic there, but the icon has more in the ocean there. But it has some in Cuba too, and then it crosses over Florida there, and yeah. So this is the icon. Let's see. So I just want every everyone to be safe there in Cuba and Hispaniola, because even though this hasn't developed yet, it will produce some very dangerous rains there. So please be careful in those areas. So let's see now some other models. So this is the GFS for Florida there. So let's see the wait, what's this? Let's see the European. So let's see here, regional. So it has it only starting there, so it's taking very long for this to develop, and then by the 240 hours, the European has a lot there, like 6 to 8 inches in parts of near Florida there. So this is the European. Let's see the UK model. It has, so the UK is not going to Florida, it's going to into Alabama there in the Florida Panhandle. So it right on the near coast there, it has some 6 to 8 inches and even 9 inches and more. So and then some 5 to 6 inches in Alabama there. So let's see the Canadian model. So the Canadian kind of has this going into the Big Bend there, and then crossing over Georgia into South Carolina. So it has like almost 10 inches in parts of the Florida Panhandle there, some 8 9 inches in Georgia, like 12 inches there too. So be aware there. So we'll we will keep monitoring this, and and keep checking the updates, warn other people there. So there's still a lot of scenarios for this. This could go more to the central, like the big band, go out into the Atlantic again and go away, and another models have this going to the Florida Panhandle and Alabama. So it's kind of uncertain yet, but for now, just be careful with the heavy rains in the Caribbean, and and be prepared for this in Florida there. So be aware, and this is mainly it. Stay safe.